Imagine staring out into the vast, infinite blackness of space. You're ready to make history, you step out of the airlock and then your mission is delayed.
Oh man, that is just the worst feeling.
Right, and it's not because of gravity or like complex rocket science. It's simply because there isn't a spacesuit on board that fits you. So, welcome to STEMinist Talk and our deep dive into the source material today. We highlight inspiring stories of women in science and exploration, and today we're looking at Christina Koch.
Yeah, she's an incredible record-breaking engineer and astronaut. And her journey beyond low Earth orbit is, well, it's really important today because it completely shatters those outdated molds of what an explorer is supposed to look like.
It totally does. And to really get how she broke those barriers, we kind of have to look at her background in electrical engineering and physics.
Right.
But she didn't take the, traditional desk-to-orbit pipeline.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. She literally quit this super secure, prestigious engineering job at NASA to winter over at the South Pole. I mean, we're talking negative 80 degrees Celsius temperatures. It's like taking the most freezing, isolated, scenic route possible to get to space.
It sounds wild, I know, but it was actually this incredibly calculated move. I mean, serving on search and rescue teams in that kind of extreme isolation, it requires the exact same psychological resilience you need on the International Space Station.
Oh, wow. So she was basically running space simulations right here on Earth.
Exactly. She was relying on a small crew in a hostile environment. And she really needed that resilience for what happened next. We jump to March 2019. Koch is on the ISS, scheduled for the first ever all-female spacewalk.
Right, and then it gets canceled. Wait, let me just get this straight. They had 2 women, fully trained, literally in space, ready to walk, but they lacked the physical parts to snap the suits together.
Yeah, that is exactly the mechanism behind the delay.
Yeah.
NASA's spacesuits are modular, so, the arms, legs, and torsos all snap together. But because of these budget decisions way back in the 1970s, they actually stopped producing the medium-sized torsos.
You're kidding. So in 2019, the space station just didn't have enough medium parts ready for 2 women at the same time.
Right. The barrier wasn't biological or about capability at all. It was purely infrastructural.
Isn't it wild? It's like trying to run cutting-edge software on 50-year-old legacy hardware. The astronauts are perfectly capable, but the physical hardware from the 70s just crashes the system.
That is a perfect analogy. But, Koch and the team adapted. They reconfigured the suits. And by October 2019, she and Jessica Meyer successfully completed that historic all-female spacewalk.
Which is just incredible.
It really is. It wasn't just a personal victory. It was a literal dismantling of an infrastructure built exclusively for men. It totally redefines who leads in science.
Absolutely, and that perfectly set the stage for her next huge milestone. She ends up staying up there for 328 consecutive days, setting the record for the longest single space flight by a woman.
Yeah, nearly a whole year.
Right, and I used to think records like that were mostly just about personal endurance, but looking at the source material, it's actually a massive biological stress test for future exploration.
Oh, 100%. You've hit on the critical why behind that number. Those 328 days provided unprecedented data on how long-duration microgravity affects the female body specifically, tracking things like bone density loss, muscle atrophy, and radiation exposure.
Because we couldn't safely plan longer lunar missions without knowing how those stressors play out.
Exactly, and that data is the direct bridge to her recent role, serving as mission specialist on the April 2026 Artemis II lunar flyby.
Which is just mind-blowing, breaking the human distance record, traveling over 252,000 miles from Earth and capturing that iconic Earthsat photo.
It's amazing, and it completely shifts the historical narrative. When you look at Koch's trajectory, it proves women were never actually absent from the history of science and exploration.
Right, they were just absent from the way the history was told.
Exactly, or structurally excluded by the tools themselves.
So when you consider Koch's story, it kind of forces you to rethink the spaces you navigate every day. To everyone listening, especially the young girls and women out there, you absolutely belong in STEM. Your dreams of exploration are completely valid because you are the ones actively reshaping that mold.
That is such an important takeaway.